Hello, everyone. Welcome to class today. We have a really special autumn equinox themed class. So grab your journal, as we always do in this sort of class. And then you're going to want to make sure you have a few props. So make sure you have some sort of bolster or pillow. Make sure you maybe have some blocks if you want them to support your practice. And maybe have a blanket as well. We're going to be doing a little bit of work with our knees. Otherwise, come to a comfortable seat, whether that's cross-legged or kneeling, and just close your eyes, rest your hands on your thighs, and begin to take some deep breaths. The autumn equinox is a really wonderful time of year. The sun is in the sky, giving us light for the exact same number of hours as we have darkness. And it's the sort of the last hurrah of summer and the real cue to transition into autumn, into kind of a slowing down, a preparation for rest to come in winter. The thing I love about autumn is it's sort of a wrap-up period. We can finish any projects we have, gather with the people we love. In Canada and the US, we celebrate Thanksgiving. And this is really a time of preparation for the rest that is to come and bidding summer goodbye until next year. Equinoxes are always a period of transition. So during the autumn equinox, we focus chiefly on what we can let go of, letting go of maybe things we didn't achieve or goals we set that we didn't achieve the way we wanted to. And we embrace the work that we still have time to do, and the work we still want to do. So continue to take a few deep breaths here, just grounding yourself down. Maybe imagine you have roots growing out of your sits bones, the tops of your feet, your thighs, anchoring yourself to the earth. This is a pretty restorative flow. We'll be holding poses for a long time to do some journaling work. Beautiful. On your next exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. And we're going to come onto all fours. So, tabletop pose. Hips over your knees, shoulders directly over your wrists. We're just going to come into some cat-cows. Press into the hands, firm up through your core, and on your next inhale, broaden across your chest. And exhale, scoop your spine up to the ceiling. Just continuing to do a few cat-cows on your own breath. If you see a cat wandering through my frame, that is our other cat, Bernoulli. He shows up a little bit throughout the course of this practice. Beautiful. Really shine your heart forward and those cows. Scoop your abs up to the sky in your cats. And on your next inhale, come back to a straight spine. Lift your right arm up to the sky and thread it underneath your shoulder, lowering your right shoulder down to the mat for thread the needle. You can keep your left hand in front of your face. You can stretch it up overhead, or if you want to get a little bit more of a chest opener, you can sort of rest the back of your palm on your low back. This can sometimes open up your shoulders and your chest a little bit more. Either way, whichever option you choose, take a few deep breaths here. You can close your eyes if you like. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in. Bring your hand back in front of your face and press yourself up, reaching your right arm up to the sky. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So lift your left arm up overhead. Thread it underneath your right armpit, and then bring your right hand in front of your face, stretching up to the top of your mat or behind resting on your low back. Whatever's comfortable. Again, don't forget to breathe here. Engage your abs so you don't sink into your low back. Like I said, this is going to be a very calm, restorative practice. We're going to be holding some yin poses for a number of minutes and doing some journaling in those poses. You know how much I love to do that. Just focusing on our breath, a little bit of reflection, and letting gravity do a lot of good work on our bodies. Lots of letting go in this class, just like what autumn is all about. Beautiful. On your next breath in, bring your right hand back to your face and press yourself up, lifting your left arm up to the ceiling. And then we're just going to lower down into Sphinx pose. So however you want to get there, I'm coming into a supported plank and lowering down in one long line. And then just bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders and shine your heart forward again, just like we did in cow pose. And breathe here in your Sphinx pose. You can close your eyes here if you want. Sphinx is always feels very restorative to me. It's kind of a nice one to just let yourself relax into. Beautiful. Now we're going to come into our first yin journaling pose. So you might want a blanket for this. We're coming into half frog on both sides. So I'm grabbing a blanket to put under my knees. I have sensitive knees. You're just going to stay in your Sphinx pose and then bring your knee up to a 90-degree angle. So your knee will be straight off of your hip and your ankle will be at a 90-degree angle to your hip. If you need to maybe roll up a blanket or put a bolster underneath your hips, you totally can. If you want to put a bolster underneath your chest as well to support yourself, by all means. But once you get comfortable here, grab your journal and we're going to start with our first journaling prompt. We're going to kind of reflect on the year. So we're going to be here for about 4 minutes. So take the next 4 minutes to reflect on what came to fruition and what hasn't throughout the course of the year. As I'm filming this, it's 2020 and the year changed a lot from how most of us envisioned it would go in January. So just take a minute to write a little bit about what happened that you wanted to happen, maybe what didn't happen that you wanted to happen. And don't give yourself any judgment here. Just write the facts of what did and didn't happen that you wanted to. And if you don't want to journal, or you don't have your journal, or you finish journaling soon, before I cue you out of the pose, just set your journal aside, relax back into the pose. You can rest your head on your hands, or you can keep your hands in that Sphinx posture. Whatever is most comfortable. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and set your journal aside, finish your thought, and we're just going to come into half frog on the other side. So you might want to kind of swivel your legs side to side if your hips are a little tense. And then we're going to, if you used a blanket, flip it to the other side and just bring our right knee up to be level with our right hip and our right ankle straight beneath or directly in line with our right knee, creating that 90-degree square angle again. And feel free to grab your journal again. For this next question, this next yin pose, take a few minutes to journal on of the things that came to fruition over the course of the year. What were the expected things that you kind of knew or planned or worked towards? And what were some of the unexpected things? Maybe there was some silver linings or some surprises in other elements to your year. Make note of those, again, with no judgment. Just journal a little bit on what were some of the pleasant surprises and also the things that you planned on and that really did happen because of your own design, your own intuition, and your own will. Take a few moments for that and I'll cue out of the pose in about 4 minutes. Begin to finish up your thoughts. Set your journal aside. And gently press yourself up out of the pose. Next, we're going to come into full frog, which is a lot of fun, but can be challenging for people who don't have super flexible hips or inner thighs. So I'm using a couch cushion here underneath me. If you have a bolster, you can use that. I'm also laying down a blanket to support my knees. I have done this pose with 4 pillows from my bed underneath my chest. So what you're going to do here is you're going to kind of come into tabletop and shimmy your knees out kind of side to side. It's a little tricky to get into, but we're basically trying to bring our knees level with our hips, coming into that 90-degree angle on both legs. And again, I have one couch cushion underneath me because it's I'm a little more flexible, but again, use as many pillows under your chest and your torso as you need. And if this is totally inaccessible for you, just come into butterfly pose. And just let yourself do a really nice yin forward fold in butterfly. You get similar benefits from both. But if you can come into full frog with all these pillows underneath you, definitely go for it. It's a really lovely pose. If you have enough pillows, you could always put pillows underneath your head. I'm going to use a block to support my head. That can also feel really nice. But whatever you need to really let yourself relax in this pose. Again, this is one where we let gravity do the work. So you might not feel a stretch right away, depending on how much you've propped yourself up, but it will come. We're going to be here for about 4 minutes, and I will cue you out then. Deepen your inhales and your exhales. And very carefully, we're just going to press ourselves out of the pose. So maybe move your blocks to the side if you were using them under your head. And use your hands to press yourself off your pillows or your bolster. And maybe come back into tabletop. If you need to kind of wiggle your hips side to side, you can, but move your pillows or bolster out of the way. I'm going to fold up my blanket to put it underneath my hips for our next pose. We're going to be coming into a wide-legged seated forward fold. So If you want something to prop your hips up here, by all means, do so. And don't spread your legs as wide as you can here. Maybe spread them as wide as you can and then back off a little bit. Definitely elevate your hips if you can. That'll help get your legs wider. And if you don't want to journal in this pose, you can just fold forward, relax yourself down, maybe put some blocks underneath your forehead. But if you do, I love to use blocks to prop up my journal so I can still get a little bit of a forward fold, but also do some journaling work. So that's what I'm going to do here. If you join me, your journaling prompt is, what do you want to release? This is a quintessential autumn equinox practice, is pondering and dwelling on, what do I want to let go? What should I let go? And how can I begin that process? Maybe even in your journal, just write, I let go of, and fill in the blank. Write whatever it is you need to let go of. We'll be here again for about 4 minutes. Journal as long as you like. And if you finish journaling before I cue us out of the pose, go ahead and use those blocks to prop up your head and relax into a forward fold. Go ahead and begin to finish your thought. Set your journal aside. Move your blocks out of the way. We're just going to come into a short Janu Shirshasana series. So go ahead and bring your left foot into your groin. Inhale the arms up and overhead, and we're just going to fold over that right leg into a nice little side bend. We won't be here for very long, so just press into the mat, see if you can stretch more into your side body. And then come back up, and we're going to come into a twist. So twist towards that left leg. Your right hand comes to the left knee. Little different form of a twist here. And then inhale, back to center. You're going to plant your left hand behind you and press up into Baby Wild Thing. Again, stretching all the way through that front body and then lower down. Beautiful. You're going to bring your right foot into your chest, extend your left leg out to the side, inhale the arms up, and fold over that left extended leg. Getting a nice little stretch in the side body. Beautiful. On your next inhale, come back up to center and twist to the right. Left hand coming to your right knee. This is kind of a fun twist. You get a nice twist along your inner thigh here as well. Just be sure to keep both sits bones on the ground. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in. Exhale back to center. You're going to just plant your right hand down on the mat. Press yourself up. Press your hips forward into Baby Wild Thing. Very nice. Just feel a nice stretch in that front body. We're not here for very long. And then exhale, lower back down to the mat. I'm setting my blanket aside, but if you want to keep something underneath your hips, by all means, bring your blanket with you. We're coming to sit on our mats with our legs extended out in front of us. Inhaling to lengthen through the spine. If you need to bend your knees here, by all means, go for it. We're coming into a seated forward fold. And you can just, again, if you don't want to journal here, just come into a nice forward fold. We're going to be here for 4 minutes, so really relax into it. If you do want to journal, grab your journal. And again, I'm using my blocks as a little table for my journal here. So maybe play around with it, see what setup works for you. This is our last journaling prompt of the day. So we're going to finish with one of my favorite questions to answer. It always gives me good perspective. I want you to write about the 10 best things of the year so far. What are you most grateful for in the year? As I mentioned earlier, I'm filming this and recording the audio in 2020. So there might not be many big things to write about, but there's always small things to be grateful for throughout the year. For me, my husband and I got a second cat, which was very exciting and we're very grateful for. No one in our family got sick. That was something we were grateful for. Just 10 things. And they can be as big or small as you like. And again, I will cue you out of the pose when the 4 minutes is up. Go ahead and finish your thought. Set your journal to the side. Fold yourself over your legs for one last little mini forward fold here. And press yourself up with your hands. We're just going to bend our knees, scooch our bums forward, and we're going to come into reclined goddess pose, reclined bound angle. So you can do this just straight on the floor, lying down on your back with your knees open. I'm going to do a bit more of a restorative version. So I'm going to grab my couch cushion. You can grab your bolster or your pillows. Bring them up so they're lined up underneath your low back. And then I'm going to grab 2 blocks and put those underneath my thighs, my knees, just to support my low back as well. Grab all the props you need here. Again, you can do this without props, but you can totally do this with props. And then just lie on back, allowing yourself to rest here. And again, we'll be here for 4 minutes. I will cue you out of the pose when we are done. you are welcome to stay here in this reclined Supta Baddha Konasana pose for Shavasana if you would like. If you would like to come into Shavasana, gently press yourself up to a seated position, move your props out of the way, and then just lie back down, extend your feet to the mat, feet wider than your hips. And let's practice Shavasana today with one hand on our chest and one hand on our bellies, just to really connect with our breath. Again, maybe imagine those tree roots extending from your ankles, your sits bones, your shoulder blades, really grounding you down into the mat. I will cue you out for our meditation at the end of Shavasana. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. Make circles with the wrists and the ankles. If you want, you can stretch your arms up overhead for a nice full body stretch. And then gently press yourself up to a seated position. Maybe prop your hips up if you like. We're just going to finish this class with a meditation. So come to a meditation seat whatever you'll find most comfortable. Rest your hands on your thighs. Keep your eyes closed and begin to breathe. Let's take a few deep breaths. Inhaling breath to fill the torso. Exhaling everything out. Make another deep breath in. Exhale it out. Now imagine you are walking on a forest path. You see trees around you. Some are evergreen, but some are starting to change color. Reds, golds, oranges, yellows. They're beginning to drop their leaves. As you walk, you feel leaves crunch under your feet. Maybe there's a little bit of a breeze. You're just taking in the golden atmosphere of this forest in autumn. And eventually, you reach a clearing. And in the middle of the clearing is a massive, large tree. And you can tell, looking at it, that it is very old and very grand. You walk up to the tree and put your hands on it. You feel the bark underneath your fingertips. And you can tell this tree is solid. This tree is grounded. This tree is able to take on the things that you want to release and let go of. So if there's anything you wanted to let go of, imagine it flowing through your fingertips and into the tree. Breathe in the solidity and stability of the tree. And exhale anything you need to let go to move into the next season with grace. Continue breathing in the tree's solidity and exhaling out anything you need to let go. And I will cue you out of the meditation in a few minutes. release whatever else you want to let go into the tree. Take a moment to thank the tree for taking on the things you've let go. Take another deep breath in. Feel the age and the groundedness of the tree. You remove your hands from the tree's bark and walk back the way you came, back through the forest. You can release the visualization and just focus on your breath, taking another deep breath in, exhaling it out. Another deep breath in, exhale it out. Once more, imagine those tree roots stretching into the ground from your hips, your thighs, and your feet. You are grounded. You are maybe a little lighter than when you first began this class, I hope. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and take a deep breath in. Bring the arms down, around, and up overhead, and exhale your hands to heart center. Dip the chin. If you like, you can bow forward. And when you're ready, in your own time, go ahead and blink open the eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope this autumn equinox class was releasing and freeing. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There's more yoga coming your way as always, and I look forward to seeing you again on the mat very soon. Have a lovely rest of your day. From my heart to yours.